Prey is the newest iteration in the Predator franchise that dates back to the 80s. It's a new twist on the premise of an alien coming down to Earth and, well, killing a lot of people. Whereas previous iterations of the franchise focused on some sort of squadron of people who were in the military, ex-military, etc., this film takes place in 1719 and primarily centers around a young Comanche woman. I had never seen a Predator movie before this, but the premise alone had me interested. The possibilities for the action, the setting of the Great Plains, and a wholly unique way of approaching a familiar story gave me very high hopes for the film. This film is also directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who has experience with telling very different stories within a franchise with his previous film, 10 Cloverfield Lane. And I think that he did it again because this is one of the most unique action sci-fi films that I've seen in recent years. I'm not typically someone who's into the sort of premise of this being is coming to Earth and it's going to kill a lot of people. It's just not what I'm into, hence why I haven't watched a Predator movie up to this point. So while I was interested in the unique premise of this movie going in, I was still skeptical as to whether or not this movie was going to be for me. But man, this movie had me floored. Yes, there's plenty of violence, there's a lot of people getting killed. So Grandma, if you're watching, don't watch this movie, okay? Just trust me. Don't watch it. You won't like it, Grandma. I promise. But the way that Trachtenberg approached the action was just so new and fresh, which is ironic given the fact that it takes place in the early 1700s. I think the idea of mixing together futuristic weapons of the Predator and obviously old school weapons of the Comanches was brilliant. This movie really hit home the fact that in order to defeat the Predator, you don't need the biggest weapons in the world. You need to outsmart it. And our lead in this film is very smart. I thought Naru, played by Amber Midthunder, was fantastic. She's portrayed to be this skilled, intelligent person who's constantly underestimated by those around her. And not only is she smart, but she is a badass. Everything with her and a tomahawk is pure gold. She's also great because she continuously learns about the Predator throughout the movie, which was great for me being someone that's never watched a Predator movie. I was learning what this thing can and can't do, what its weaknesses are with Naru. Naru has to be one of the best action movie protagonists in recent memory, and I thought Midthunder was fantastic in the role. This actress is set to play Princess Yue in the new Avatar live action series, and I can't wait to see her in that role. I was also genuinely surprised by how good the sound here was. There are moments in the film in which the sound just completely drowns out and lets the viewers take in the moment or perhaps solely focus on what's on screen. One of these moments had me stunned with how incredible the shot was, and sometimes a huge booming score can take away from those moments. Sometimes the greatest thing about a movie is whenever it knows not to do too much. It can sometimes be easy to accompany a magnificent shot with a huge booming score, but I think the sound department did a great job with making the hard decision of letting the shots speak for themselves at times, so well done to everyone there. I also have to say that the Predator looks amazing here. It is very clear that they did not skimp out in the budget in making this thing look real. For me being a noob, I had no prior experience to the Predator other than I knew generally what he looked like, so seeing him go to work here, using all of his gadgets, seeing what this creature was really amazing. And I truly feel like this is a Predator movie where if you haven't seen a movie beforehand, you could walk in not knowing anything and be completely fine. And I know that because I haven't seen a Predator movie before this, but you can bet after this one that I'm going to go back and watch some of the older films. There are a couple of problems that I had with the movie though. The biggest thing would probably have to be the dialogue being a little too modern. We have some scenes where it's just members of the Comanche tribe communicating with one another, and it feels like dialogue that could have been used in really any modern day action movie. And maybe it's just my own expectations, but I really wanted to be thrusted into the early 1700s with this tribe, how they communicated with one another. So I guess some of the dialogue there just took me out of the movie. Also, there is a sequence in this movie where it felt like a massive group of people were introduced solely so we could see the Predator's gadgets on display and see them get murked. Which, I get it, we're in a Predator movie, we're gonna see some insane kills, it's just not my thing. The movie for me also sort of drags in the beginning, but I understand that the filmmakers needed to spend more time thrusting the audience into the early 1700s setting. It needed to spend time in setting up the Comanche culture, and it also needed to set up Naru's character and skill set. So I can't fault the movie too hard on that, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't get bored there during parts of the beginning. However, once the action gets started, the movie does not stop until the end. It just takes a little while to get there. But what can I say? If you're into action movies, this is unlike anything else out there. The action is fantastic, it's helmed incredibly well, and it features a protagonist you can easily root for. It's also streaming on Hulu, so if you don't want to spend the money to go to a theater, this is perfect. It made me want to sit down and watch the rest of the Predator movies, and yeah, Dan Trachtenberg delivered once again. It's only 100 minutes, so if you have an hour 40 and you're looking for a great action movie, this is the one for you. It's probably the best action movie that I've seen all year up to this point, and for now, I'm going to give Prey a 9. This is easily an action movie that I can see myself rewatching again before the end of the year. That's going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for watching the video up to this point. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.